Hi there, Boris Rani here from Restore Revive, and I would like to show you my favorite hinge training exercise. This is very important because I found it with a lot of my clients that they can't move at the hip, they can't hinge properly at the hip or at the sacrum. So what they do is they start doing it with their back, and that's why your lower back or your lumbar spine can go under major stress. So what we're going to do is going to be very simple. I'm going to show you a couple of versions of it, but the idea behind it is all going to be the same. One of the simplest way what you can do is that if you think about a hinge, if you think about a deadlift, I want you to think about the movement that your hip, your knee, and your back is doing. So we're going to watch these areas. What I want to see is I want to see movement at the hip. I want this hinge movement solely at the hip. When you think about a deadlift, I don't want it to be reaching forward. I don't want to reach with my back. I want to go down as deep as my hip allows me to do. We're going to use this ball to protect your knees and protect and show the hip a little bit of more internal rotation. Very simple exercise. You're going to step away from the wall, just like a little bit less than your foot maybe. Your foot is like shoulder width apart, everything is facing forward. So your feet are facing forward, my knees are facing forward, hips going forward. I would place the ball between my knees, and I'm not going to squeeze it too much, I just have to hold it. This is basically just a control mechanism so I don't mess up my form. What you're going to do is you're going to relax your upper body. You can also cross your arms if you want to at the first couple of times. You can do your stack, so if I breathe in and out, as I exhale, I bring my ribs down and back, and I reach this point where my pelvic floor and my diaphragm is right on top of each other, so they're facing each other. This is where we're gonna start from. Next, what you're gonna do is you're gonna hinge back, so my upper body doesn't change. My back is not moving. I'm moving one unit here, and I'm only hinging at the hip. I'm gonna bend over, pushing my hips back, and with my hip I'm trying to reach the wall. I'm trying to go back as far as I can. You don't have to reach it, but you can, at least you're shooting for it. And then stand up. Again, I'm moving here at the hip, so I'm just going, shooting my hips back and stand back up. That's all I'm doing. The points that I'm watching is my upper body is not arching into it. I'm not moving and pushing myself into it with my back, nor is I pulling up myself with my back. It's my hip that's moving. The other thing is my knees are always shooting, like trying to go forward. I'm not pushing my knees forward, but I also don't let them go behind, go with my hips. So when I place my foot down, that doesn't stay. My knees are trying to go forward, and I'm holding this ball together, and I just push my hips back, just like that. Push my hips back, up and down. All I'm looking for is movement at the hip. And when I stand up, I don't really squeeze my glutes underneath. This is not a deadlift. You don't have to squeeze anything. I'm coming up to neutral. I push back, and when I come up, I start pushing at my heels. So my heels carry like 60% of my weight, or even a little bit more. And when I come up, I push through my heels. Go down, hinge back, reaching the wall, pushing through my heels. The ball between the knees help, because if I'm gonna lose the ball, I'm gonna lose this contact if my knees start turning out, and if I start squeezing with my glutes, or if I can't keep my knees parallel to each other and parallel to my foot. You have to use a ball that's kind of comfortable for you. This might be a little bit too small for me, so it would be a little bit bigger. But all I'm trying to do with this is that I can't drop this, and I don't have to squeeze the living hell out of it either. So hinge back at the hip, upper body stays level and silent, and stand back up. Level and silent up here, and only my hip is moving, knees are trying to go forward. The other thing that you can also try, if this is hard, you find a comfortable position where your back is not arched, where your knees are comfortable, where your foot is comfortable, you have your foot contact, and you can feel this movement in your hip. All you're gonna do is you're gonna breathe here. When you breathe, all I want you to feel is that try to feel your pelvic floor as it moves with every breath in and out. So as I take a breath in, my organs start to shift down, shift towards my pelvic floor. It's not entirely down for me, but like going back towards the wall. When I exhale, it comes back up. Inhale down, opening, exhale, come back up. So you can also try this if the hinge itself is not as comfortable just yet. You want to watch your back, you want to make sure that you're not arching into it, you want to watch your knees, and you want to watch this hip movement. Again, I'm looking at the angle between your femur and your lower back, so it's not about going down as in a squat, it's about bending forward. And this is the joint that I'm watching, and this is the movement that I need to see here. Okay, so give it a try, let me know how it goes. And there are some other variations that I'm going to go through in future videos where I show you even like more like a low level or a little bit more dynamic version of this. So enjoy, try it out, and let me know how it feels.